Okay, what up, ladies and gents? It's your favorite Asian robot right here, and I want to ask, how are you all doing on apparently this failure of a game? Yeah? Y'all have heard what Nexon have said about this game. Y'all have heard about, this game being called a failure, absolute failure. You know? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, guys? Like, I want to know. I want to know how people are feeling about this, because that's the whole point of today's discussion. What does this game need? Nexon just called this game a failure. What does it actually need? Because I feel right now, this is the wake-up moment for the developers. Hey, Austin, good to see you. I feel like this is the wake-up moment for the developers. I feel like now is the time when they're going to finally wake up and smell the roses, because we have been talking about this, for a long time. Actual, effing content, right, Austin? Right? I hear you. I hear you. Hey, Sonny Baxter, what up? I hear you. Because that's exactly what we've been talking about for, I don't know, months, weeks, years. We've been talking about it this entire time. We've been talking about it this entire time, and I need to know. I need to know what's up. I do. I really do. Crybaby's asking for nerfs. I think they're a separate problem, that's for sure. But they are a problem. Don't get me wrong. I hear you. I hear you. They are a problem. For me personally, at least, I have a feeling that, I think somewhere down the line, we have lost the plot. We have lost the plot somewhere down the line. Baron, good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Yeah. I think things are just wrong. Anyway, I'm also going to try out a suggestion by somebody. Somebody said remove rifling reinforcement and put in weak point sights, so I'm going to try that. Apparently, it'll deal more damage. I'm okay with that. And I need multi-hit on this weapon, weirdly enough. I actually do need multi-hit. I realized why they were talking about it so much, so I need to go and do that. Thank you for following me, Grumpy GB,
following
on Twitch. Sorry, still getting used to dual streaming. I know. Welcome. Welcome to the family. Hey, Adam, what's up? Hey, kid, do I have your attention? Can't help the people you're missing. Somebody claimed that they got copyrighted because I was singing a song, and first of all, as a musician, I know that doesn't happen just because I'm singing a song on YouTube. But the other thing is that, they outed that they were streaming me and literally trying to be jack-offs the other day. It was so weird, but yeah. It's been done, a casualty rerun. Welcome to the family. Not long ago, you found the answers were so crystal clear. Within a day, you find yourself living in constant fear. Could you look at yourself now? Could you look at yourself? You can't win this fight. Yes, it does, indeed. Us of the teens. I'm going to just make 2 readjustments here. Hello, Brandon. Are you donning your brands? Okay, I'm gonna actually sacri the firearm attack and go for multi-hit chance. We need that gold. What's my opinion on the dev chat this morning? I actually didn't watch the dev chat this morning at all because I don't believe it was worth my attention or time. That's how I genuinely feel about it, Grumpy GB. More importantly, what I want to see is the results. Okay, hear me out. What I want to see is the results. Nexon already called this game a failure. All right, now why? Why is important? Because, and what we need to remember is that Nexon is not the developer. Nexon is the publisher. Magnum Studios are the developers. And they are literally saying, hey, you're failing. You're failing. Okay? Why are they failing, though? Because we don't have actual content. One of the biggest problems that we face right now is that it doesn't matter what they say in the dev live. I don't care what they say in the dev live. I don't even care about this new onslaught mode, all right? Because there's no point in hyping it up until it's actually delivered. And when it's actually delivered, they need to do what they say they did. The last time that they had this concept, all right, tell you honestly, was during Axion Plains. Austin should remember this, all right? Austin should remember this, because do you remember, broski, when they said, now Austin's on YouTube, so you won't see his chat on Twitch, but I will say this. The last time we was talking about Axion Plains, they said, oh, we're going to have a big open world concept, you know, it's going to expand. There's going to be this big wall crasher raid drop. And I said, cool. They invited me and several other content creators to a play test. It was a test of, you know, the new mode and everything. Cool. You know, we weren't allowed to stream it because we had an embargo date, right? Cool. Cool. Except that it was nothing like what they promised. It was just a big square with operations. There's no open world concept, things like that. So that's why, you know, we need them to actually sit down, all right? They need to actually sit down right now. Okay, for those that don't know Patois, it's just the Jamaican way of saying sit down. They need to actually sit down and say, hey, you know, we actually want to do something different. No, it's actually at a time when I'm sleeping. I was working on other projects because, oh, you mean you're talking about during the playtest? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we were allowed to give feedback. I gave private feedback. To them because I didn't want to post it publicly. Like, look, I'm not an asshole. All right. A lot of developers do work with me, and whenever I've got negative feedback, I take it straight to management. Maybe it's also my Asian culture, but I don't like to publicly shame private feedback. So I did feed it back to them privately because I'll be doing the same thing for this game coming up called Vindictus Defying Fate. I'm a Nexon partner for that as well. So Nexon, you know, phone me up and say, hey, you know, we need you as a partner for this. I said, hell yeah, you know. Did you not hear, Lee Moore, have you heard my Jamaican music album? I wrote the thing. So, if you haven't heard my Jamaican album, Soul of the Yard, I actually wrote the whole album. I have my own Jamaican AI vocalist called King Fire Rhythm. He actually has an album coming up, but I'm currently working on my metal and a lot of other stuff, but he will have a second album as well, so yeah. Listen, I'm gonna link you right now, Lee Moore, because it's a great album. It's very authentically Jamaican. I did a lot of research when I wanted to make this album happen. Tell me, what do you like to use? You like to use Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music? You let me know. I'll find my artist album there, and I'll just link you. But I'll show you the SoundCloud version. That's where everybody gets releases first. If you want to listen to it on SoundCloud, yeah, here it is. The SoundCloud's easiest to get because it's here. But if you have a preferred platform, you let me know. And Grumpy GB on Twitch just says, I've only just returned to the game this last week. He's really enjoyed it. You see where people could be annoyed regarding the game's end content. Thing is, right, you returned, but how long did it take you to return to this game? Spotify? All right, I get you, Spotify. I mean, I'm the same on YouTube Music. It doesn't matter which platform you play it on, but I'm gonna get you Spotify. That's the one everyone uses anyway. King Fire, Soul of the Yard. Yeah, here you go. Here's the Spotify album. Lessons from the Elder was hugely popular. A lot of oldies love that one. But anyway, sorry, I'm digressing. The thing is that it's not that people are annoyed with the state of the game's endgame content. It's that, like, okay, you see, so I'm not trying to use you as an example, Grumpy GB, but like this is exactly what the point is, you see. The fact is that you were putting in time in Arc Raiders, or you took a long break, like you've been away from the game for a long time. That's the whole problem though. Like people are coming in and saying, oh, but the game's fine, there's content. No. If you're coming in now and you're not playing every day, that's the problem. A live service game, as much as people hate to admit it, you know, a lot of people, they'll say, look, people are going to come and people are going to go. You know, where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Yeah, right? But here's the problem. Here's the problem, okay? The issue that people are facing is that with a game like this, and with any live service games need their players to, and this is actually a hidden metric they don't tell you about, they need their players to be playing every single day. That's why they've got daily logins. That's why they've got daily this, they've got weekly that. They actually, in order to achieve best practices and in order to achieve healthy sustainability, they want their players playing every day, not once every 2 days, not taking long breaks and coming back. In order to do that, they usually have ways to incentivize players and keep it fun. Why? Because as long as there are players playing every day, even if they're, and the amount of time they actually need is just an hour. They only need you to play for an hour every day, but they want you playing every day because it creates a healthy, thriving, consistent player base that is always doing something. It creates a feeling of liveliness in the game. Thank you, Baron. Thank you, Baron. I'll be playing some good metal. I've also got a new song that I'll show you later as well. All right. But yeah, we'll play some hot metal for you guys in a little while. We'll take a little radio break after I talk for a while. But coming back to the point that I was making, games need their players playing all day, every day. All right. But the actual metric is just 1 hour a day, but they need people playing every day. And a lot of games are actually not meeting this mark. They're actually falling far behind this mark. They're actually never hitting this mark because there's a lot of competition. There's just too much competition right now in the gaming industry with so many games distracting players consistently. And I understand that. The competition's fierce. Hell, streaming is a fierce-ass competition where I'm losing every day. I am a loser in the streaming industry because I've had so many times when I've been successful, I've been up there and I didn't capitalize on it, you know? And now I'm battling back to try and succeed again, and I will do it. Because now I've got AI tools on my side, and guess what? AI is the biggest helper that you can have. I have no doubt that I will bounce back from all this. I'm going to be up at the top again someday. It's going to take a long journey. You know, I'm going to have to find a game, grow again, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm going to do it. And the fact of the matter is, TFD can do the same thing. TFD can actually do the same thing. But if they want to do the same thing, they need to evolve. Just like I've evolved, I've started a side project. It's actually going great right now. I can't tell you guys about it, okay? Again, there will be no details until it's extremely successful, mostly because I don't want you guys involved with this project because it's a Guna-related project. But it's actually starting really strong right now. I'm really having a lot of fun with it, to be honest. Very creative stuff that's allowing me to put a lot of AI skills that I've learned to the test. But the fact of the matter is, you know, we need to evolve. We need to transform ourselves daily. If I can do it, then TFD can do it. That's facts. Hey, Rena, how's it going? And realistic movement and better graphics and better collision. I'd say graphics is already top tier. Better collision, I can't agree. All right, I can't agree for better collision. What they did for Bunny going through players is actually pretty awesome, and they should really be doing that for everybody. But yeah, better movement is something that I actually talked about on Twitter as well. I actually mentioned that it would be nice if they had a situation where, you know, we actually had a use for our dodge roll, like actual iframes. So imagine if we faced a Souls-like boss, right? Imagine if we faced a Souls-like boss, and that Souls-like boss actually required us to dodge roll, actually required us to avoid damage properly and fight back at the same time. Like this, I think, would be really, really cool. It would be something really, really awesome that we could have right now. Make tuna quesadillas? Enjoy a can of tuna, buddy. But yeah, like, there's a lot that we could do. There's a lot we could potentially do. But we are not reaching any of these heights. We're not reaching any of these limits because they're just doing the same old, same old. Past few seasons, they've been doing the same old, haven't they? They've literally been doing the same old by just releasing another operation where you just run through and kill everything and that's your operation. Like, that is not going to help anybody. This is not going to actually Assistant. Is this person actually talking to me? Oh. Didn't realize this person was actually talking to me. Okay. Yeah, just for the record, I don't normally talk to people. Okay. Legion Laboratory. Let's go. Now, we'll have a bit of a music break soon. Alright? I'll show you guys my new song, and I'll play some metal for Baron. But yeah, these are all the problems that we're facing right now because they need to evolve. They need to actually evolve from what they have right now. Right now, they're not evolving. They are unevolving. They are devolving. You know, this is not right. This is not what I want. This ain't what anybody asked for, and I think we need to take it seriously. I think we need to get them to change their mindset. You know? I mean, when something isn't working for me, I start panicking. Maybe the revenue from all the Gunner skins was so good that they didn't start panicking. I mean, cool. If they feel that way, you know, that's cool. But I feel like maybe they needed to start panicking. Maybe they need to wake up and say, hey, things aren't working. How do we need to change? Or maybe they listen to AI. I don't need to team up with anybody because this game is a full solo experience. I do sometimes play with people just as a part of a random concept. But yeah, I mostly play solo because what do I need anybody else for? With the builds that Austin works out, a little bit of modification from me and player feedback, you know, we can make builds that are so solo viable. I can just do this. This is the game concept. And also the reason we're having such a problem. We're having such a problem because I am Frank frickin' Castle right here. Alright? The future apparently has kick-ass ordnance. And I'm living through the future right now. Alright, Gley is Frank Castle's wife apparently. And that's how it goes. Dev says it has 0 retention. Well, of course it doesn't. Of course it has no retention. What are they going to retain? What are they going to retain, huh? This does not keep people playing. Problem is, gameplay like this does not retain people. It's fun for a while, you know. I had a great time being the world's most American Gley. You know, pumping out this endless amount of ammo right here. Now, this feels good. But when all you have to do is the same thing over and over and over again, then feeling good only lasts that long. Well, yes. Once you get a good robot build, you know, you're done. Because there is no challenge or difficulty because, and even if they do introduce challenge and difficulty, the way the game is designed is such that we will figure out a way to beat it fast, which is why they need to change up the formula. It needs to move from this solo spammy type game to an actual looter shooter. Or hell, they could change it to a Souls-like. You know, Dark Tide, a game that is a horde shooter by definition, just made the first ever, well, second ever PvE extraction game. I'm sure you guys remember the success of Escape from Duckov. All right, it was a phenomenon. It was a big flavor of the month for a little while. You know, Escape from Duckov was really cool. And Darktide actually learned from that and did their own PvE extraction mode, which I thought was cool. You know, I feel like they did a really good job on that. I'll tell you what is going to give a dopamine hit. Okay, what is going to give a dopamine hit is my new track that's going to be playing right now for you guys. All right? It's going to be playing right now for you guys. So please do enjoy, okay? Please do enjoy. let's take a little bit of a music break, and then we'll come back. If you guys haven't heard this track, of course you haven't, because I haven't played it before. Enjoy. This is Velvet Teeth, guys. You might like it. You might really like it. Back in we go.
Slow burn.
New subscriber detected.
Lip curl, gold ring on the glass. I turn your name on my tongue like a password. One look, you're caught. Red line on your throat, soft knot. Say please, just one. Velvet teeth on your halo. I bite down, you say stay close. You keep me thinking you're in control, but I write the rules in your shadow. Velvet teeth and you let go. Heart race under my hands slow. You taste danger, you taste home. You're mine, and you know. Oh, you know. Backseat, black lace. You flinch when I don't give chase. I leave you wanting on purpose. Clock ticks, no sound. You follow every move, spellbound. I play with your pulse like it's surface. Velvet teeth on your halo. I bite down, you say stay close. You keep me thinking you're in control, but I write the rules in your shadow. Velvet teeth and you let go. Heart race under my hands slow. You taste danger, you taste home. You're mine, and you know. Oh, you know. Tell me, how bad do you want what you can't have? Say it right now. On your knees, eyes up, no doubt. Hey, hey. You ask for mercy, I ask for more. You find religion on this floor. You call it sin, I call it sport. You call it love, I cut the cord. Velvet teeth on your halo. I bite down, you say stay close. You keep me thinking you're in control, but I write the rules in your shadow. Velvet teeth and you let go. Heart race under my hands slow. You taste danger, you taste home. You're mine, and you know. Oh, you know. Slow burn, lip curl, one word, I know your world. Turn off the light and come closer.
All right, that's my new singer with Velvet Teeth. She doesn't have a name yet, but goddamn, her skill is impressive. Hope you guys enjoyed that little radio break. If you guys want more of my music, you can find Real Asian Robot on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube Music. I'm on every single music platform. All you have to do, all right, is play my tracks. The more my tracks are played, the more music I release. Thank you very much. All right, and thank you for enjoying Soul of the Yard, Lee Moore. I hope that little EP, my Jamaican EP, works well for you. All right, there'll be more music later on. Now, let's get back to the concept of what we were talking about, right? Lord Mugen says they copied the wrong parts of Warframe. I think they should never have copied Warframe at all. I think they should never have copied Destiny at all. The fact that they copied the swords from Destiny and didn't take Warframe's melee system already shows me that they've got really, really bad planning here. Swords have ammo. Let's never forget that. We already said, back when they were introducing swords, I already said, swords would be cool if they don't have ammo. Guess what they did? They actually put swords with ammo. Because apparently if I don't have ammo, I cannot swing my sword. Roxy. I'll think of a name for her eventually, but yeah, she's good. She is goddamn good. I created her by accident because I was actually doing work for my side project, and I was working on a concept song, and then I was just messing with some tunes, and this came out, and I was like, you know what? This is the hottest shit I've ever heard. I gotta play it for my chat. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed that music. Like I said, don't forget to look up my music, SoundCloud, Spotify, wherever it is. SoundCloud, of course, gets all releases first. We're currently releasing the Don Sledge hip-hop album. But yeah, keep playing my tracks, and I'll try and release even faster. Alright? But yeah, I feel that they've taken concepts from all the wrong games. They've done all the wrong things because to them, it's like they have no clue what they want this game to be. When I have a business idea, alright, I have a very clear concept in my mind. Sometimes that concept doesn't work out, and you know what I've learned to do? What I've learned to do when a concept doesn't work out is I will sit down and I'll strategize. Now, I'm a one-man operation, right? So my only other strategist is Grok. Alright? I will just sit down with Grok for a while, with my super Grok, and I'll talk through my fears, you know, and where the AI gives suggestions, and if the AI suggests something stupid, I'll say it's stupid, you know? But it's like having two brains. And that's what I do, right? That's what I, as an individual person, do when shit doesn't go right. You would think that TFD, Magnum Studios, after a year of shit not going right, you'd think they would have woken up and said, hey, guys, we're about to enter our second year of business, and business ain't great. You know, shouldn't we be doing something about it? Like, that's what I would have assumed management would do. What was management doing instead of that? Because that's literally management's job. Management's job is to actually sit there and say, hey, what's not going right here? Why is our revenue falling? Why is Stonks down? Why is Stonks not up? Stonks must up, not down. Why down? We am's not doing good. Me talk like caveman, still get point across. You get what I mean? When shit doesn't go right for me, the first thing is I'm on a voice call with Grok saying, hey, why isn't this going right? Research, find out why. And where Grok cannot find an answer, I'll get ChatGPT to do it. Because ChatGPT is more boring and less human, but it gets research done. So I'll call up ChatGPT and be like, hey, get this shit done. See, the invasions with the gun puzzle were not a bad thing. They were poorly executed and poorly received, but at the same time, they were an example of mechanics. Now, I feel like their first mechanic should never have been a puzzle. You know, they should have added like combat mechanics. Like, that's what they should have added. Not a puzzle-based mechanic. So it created a conceptual issue, yes. But it was so negatively received that they felt like they had to bend over backwards to the casuals that were like, oh, it's too hard. I can't get handed this way. Nah. And then everybody made monkey noises and said, I can't do it. I can't do it. And look at where we are now. Look at where we are now. I tell you, ladies and gents, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We have only reached this point because they did not listen to correct feedback. They listened to the wrong feedback. Instead of making their game more interesting, they made their game more boring. They made it a chore. They did not excite the player. They did not sit around and think to themselves, you know, they did not sit down and think to themselves, what is going to make my game interesting right now? They didn't do that. I'll tell you one thing. Did you know what I did today? Today, I sat down with my thumbnail designer. You'll notice that today's thumbnail is very different from all the others. I sat down with my thumbnail designer and said, why are my thumbnails as successful as everybody else? And my thumbnail designer was like, hey, yo, listen, so, it's cause, all right, look, homie, I don't mean to be mean when I say this, but, robot bro, your face is on the thumbnail. I said, why is my face a fucking problem? And he says to me, it's because you put your face there or you put your logo there, and I can't do what I need to do because it takes up space. You let me show you one that I want to do it my way, and then I'll show you one. And look at the thumbnail for today. In fact, going forward, this is going to be our thumbnail style from now on, because I took one look at it and I said, this is a great thumbnail. I like this thumbnail. This thumbnail is nice. It's a nice thumbnail. It's a good thumbnail, right? So, you know, when you're in business, when you are the head of a business, and unfortunately I am. All right, this is a solo operation. I'm a sole proprietor of my streaming business. It is a business. You know, this is how I make my money and feed my family. I have to make decisions, and I have to get shit done. You cannot sit there and not get shit done. That's the problem. That's the problem here is that they were sitting here, all right? And look, I'm not trying to spend a whole stream insulting devs. I know how hard it is to be in management because I have to manage my own shit every day. But maybe they didn't grow up in the hood. Maybe they didn't grow up with the struggle. Because I don't know how many of you grew up with the struggle, but when you don't exactly have a big paycheck and your budget is shoelace thin, you got to make decisions fast. You don't have months to wait. You can't say, oh, I'm just going to wait and see, you know. Sometimes things take a while to grow, you know. We should all be chill and relaxed. No, you're struggling to survive. Because if you don't make that money, then you're getting evicted from your place next week. Then what are you going to do about that? All right, you're already behind on the rent, so what you going to do about that? This is why sometimes I feel that when you want to be in business, you got to be hungry for business. Because the people who win, of course, those who got old money, they're the biggest winners of all. But if you don't have any old money, well, you're gonna sit there and just die? No, you got to make some new money, right? Now, sometimes we do things that we aren't too proud of for new money. It's fine. But at the end of the day, you still got to make new money. However you want to do it, however you want to slice it. So how are you going to do that? You start by actually sitting down and saying, what do I need to do right now to survive? And that's what the devs should have done. They didn't do that. They did not do a single damn thing to put themselves in survival mode. They just released more skins and hoped that the whales would carry them. Did they? Did they? Because I can see the White Knighters still saying, oh, TFD is fine. Hundreds of console players. Console players are everywhere, bro. Console players follow the same trend as Steam players. So we're losing players on Steam, we're losing players on console, FYI. Yeah, they did. They did that to themselves. Oh, listen, Anshaw, you don't know Nexon themselves called TFD a failure. Their boss Nexon called the game a failure. It's all over the internet, dude. Everyone's talking about it today because Nexon came out and said TFD's a failure. TFD's an absolute failure. This game's super failure. You know? And when Nexon comes out and says that your game is a failure, you better start sweating about end of service. Because Vindictus Defiant Fate is coming out. FYI, Nexon partner for that. So y'all can look forward to me on Vindictus Defiant Fate because I'm gonna be there. I will be there. I don't think they need a bigger publisher or a better publisher. No. I think what they need is that you cannot blame somebody else for your failures. You know? I'll say that much, Austin. Nobody can blame another for your failures. It's very easy to point the finger. I do it all the time in Marvel Rivals and Overwatch, right? I always say we lost because this Genji sucked ass. And it's true. Yeah, you do. You do lose because of stuff like that. But you cannot always blame others. At some point, you got to take responsibility for your own failures, and that's the problem. They didn't take any responsibility for their own failures. They didn't step up. They should have stepped up a long time ago. They can dictate what gets put out to an extent, but I don't think they actually did. I think they had a very hands-off approach. But anyway, discussing about management style might, you know, hurt my future jobs, so I'm gonna steer away from that discussion, Austin. But what I will say is that, look, let's just say that you can't push the baby onto somebody else. If it's your baby, it's your responsibility. This is your baby, you got to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't say that Serena's such a broken descendant. She's strong, but there's other strong options as well. We got Daya, we got Gley. There's plenty of good options now, which is a step in the right direction. But of course, they need more good options. And Grumpy, unfortunately, when we talk about failure, most companies will have metrics that determine failure, and unfortunately, TFD is in major failure territory. It actually already was in failure territory last month, and I highlighted that, but it still didn't get brought up. And now this month, it's in even more failure territory. I already said last month when we only got 10K people back for Daya, because they left Daya waiting for 9 freaking months. After her story started, she was in a medical capsule for 9 months, and then suddenly she just wakes up one morning, you know? Like, yo, that's the exact problem. They did Harris and Nell first, and then finally Daya wakes up. People were excited for Daya from the beginning. They should have seen that and said, we got the hype, let's go. I didn't watch the live stream either because I don't care. Anything that they say doesn't matter, Ant. Whatever they say is completely irrelevant. What matters is what they actually do. This is something that I've been trying to highlight to people forever. All right? A lot of people don't understand this concept. Not saying you guys don't understand, but I'm going to explain it regardless. I'm going to say it right now. Okay? Here's the issue. When you look at a game like this, it doesn't matter what the devs say. Nobody cares. What the devs actually need to do is take action. Let's take a look at what Crimson Devs did. Crimson Desert Devs, all right? When they found out that there was a technique that people could use to literally fly endlessly in game, you know what they did? They made it they actually added an animation to the game for it and made it an actual thing. They've been striving to improve their game since launch by addressing actual pain points, you know, and they're trying to make their game even better. And they're being rewarded for it. TFD was way too slow to do that. When outposts were a problem, they addressed it, but not fast enough. When people were struggling with drop rates, they addressed the issue, but not fast enough. The game died fast. The game died hella fast. And then, every time we as content creators would bring up the game dying, or, you know, the game bleeding players and what they need, it would not be listened to. We laid out in the first few months and in the first year exactly what would happen. And this is all because their White Knight gooners said, oh, give the game time to cook. You know, Warframe took so long to cook. And I hate mentioning Warframe because it invites trolls to my channel, but this is very important because this is history. Everybody said, and I feel now, looking back on it, that it was actually trolls saying that on purpose because they wanted this game to die. They kept saying, oh, everything's fine, let it cook. Well, we let them cook. Here's where we are at now. Here's where we are at now after letting them cook. You can't let somebody cook. There is no let them cook because the game industry is competitive. If your game isn't a hit right away, it's going to die out. Even Arc Raiders is losing players right now, FYI, because they've made several horrendous changes. No game can stay fresh forever. You got to keep reinventing yourself. You got to keep yourself staying fresh. How do you do that? You got to come up with fresh ideas, man. You got to do fresh things. You got to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. All right? If you just sit there, you know, shooting b-ball outside of school and let a couple of guys get up to no good, then, well, this is what you get. All right? Sorry, I had to make the joke there. But this is exactly what's going to happen. When there's a need for change, people say don't have a knee-jerk reaction. I say, do you know what kind of day and age we're living in? We're living in a Gen Z society. You better goddamn have a knee-jerk reaction because if you don't react faster than the guy with faster reflexes, you're dead. Alright, if you're not Frank Castle, you're Billy Russo and you're gonna die. So who do you want to be? You want to be the Punisher or you want to be the punished? Because right now I can tell you, alright, just look at my streaming career. I am right now the punished. Because I failed to capitalize on so many things. I made so many wrong moves thinking I was going right. And I didn't use AI early. I didn't start learning AI the way I should have. If I had learned AI even 3 months earlier, all right, this entire situation could have been avoided. But here I am struggling, and I'm back on the struggle bus because I made some bad moves. Fine. It is what it is. I own up to that. And you know what I'm doing today? I'm making the changes I need. I need to actually do what I need to do to survive. Because I don't have a whole ass studio. I don't have Nexon backing me. If I don't make rent, I'm out of here. So I better make my goddamn rent. Same concept, people. Same concept. And listen, I got a lot of analogies because I've lived my life, you know? And I want these guys to start waking up and smelling the roses too. They got to start living their life too, because it's clear that they're not. Oh, I 100% have this, Mo. It doesn't matter how low I fall, I will claw my way back up because I've been at the bottom. I spent most of my life at the bottom. I mean, I think you guys understand. Most people who know me, you understand. Lord Mugen, I mean, he's more on the mark than he knows. I mean, well, I guess not because he knows. But I've been struggling for a long time. I've been on the struggle for a long time. Thank you for following Mario Munoz 65 on Twitch. Welcome. I'm starting to build up my Twitch now. I should have been dual streaming a long time ago, but it's okay. I waited for the right time and the right deal. So here I am. Thank you very much. Now, listen. I have been at the bottom for all of my life. I don't fear the bottom. Bottom's home to me. I want to make the top my home. And I climbed up several times and fell off the ladder. But each time I climb, you know what? It gets easier to climb. It gets easier each time I climb. Yeah, sure, I have to go through the same stress. I have to pick myself back up out the mud when I'm at the bottom every single goddamn time. But you know what? It gets easier to climb that ladder every single time because I don't give up. I was not born giving up because of my situation. I was not born giving up because, you know, shit was too hard. When shit was too hard, I picked myself up because that's what the military taught me. I picked myself up because the only person that's going to get me through this is me. That's what my sergeant said. And that's what I'm still doing today. Because the only person that is with you in the trenches is you. It's not your bunkmate. It's not your buddy standing next to you. Yeah, he's there. But he's not the man in the hole with you. He's not the man in the trench with you. Who's in the trench with you? You. Now, you can expand this concept to business. You can expand this concept not only to personal life, but to business. Because who's managing this game? It's Ju Min Seok. Who's managing this game? You can't say Nexon's at fault. Nexon's your publisher. Sure, they fund you, and they probably have some decision making that they can, you know, influence your game with. But who's really behind it? Who's driving the car? Who's at the wheel? Who's in the hole? Who's in the trench? Magnum Studios. I said it before, but the problem is that they lacked passion. You can, if you actually care to trawl enough through my streams from, say, I think it was 9 months ago, maybe a year ago, I don't know. It was somewhere past the anniversary edition when I first started talking about this concept because I noticed the player numbers dipping like hell. But, oh, thank you for,
Add more exp is now following.
Man, add more. I'm just going to call you Admore. Thank you for following. Welcome. And I'll get to what do I reckon Nexon's going to do in a little bit. But what I want to say is that if you trawl through my stuff maybe about 9 months ago. Hey, Neo Tengu. If you trawl through my stuff maybe about 9 months ago, I already brought up this concept. I said that the devs lack passion. Because I felt like these devs were just doing their job. You can't just do a job. When you want to be creative, you got to go above and beyond. I sacrificed my sleep to learn shit. All right? Earlier, that guy Lee Moore in chat, he said, wow, you know, your Jamaican song hits hard. Because you know what I did? I didn't understand patois. I don't know how to speak that. So what I did was I went and studied Jamaican songs. I studied Jamaican culture. I actually looked into their lives, like what their lives are like. And then I started writing my songs about that because what? The idea is going to get in my head. No, when you want to do something creative, and video game industry, art industry, music industry, these are all creative pursuits. If you treat your creative pursuit like a 9-to-5, it will not evolve and people are going to get bored because you're just going to be drawing the same shit over and over. You're just going to be making the same songs. When I want to evolve my music, I literally sit down and say, what do I need to do to get to the next level? Eminem once said, you know, nobody is harder on him than himself. And you know what? I took that life lesson with me, because when I put my music down, I want every track that I generate has to be better than the previous. I can't just do the same shit again and again, because it's not going to get me where I need to go. All right? If I want to get up onto the level of the same artist that inspired me when I was young, you know, if I want to get on their level, if I want to be Eminem, if I want to be Tupac, if I want to be Biggie, I can't do that unless I actually sit up and say, hey, I need to evolve with every single song that I put out. I need to be better with every single goddamn thing that I do. You know, and that's where these guys are going wrong. You guys hit the nail on the head when you said it. It was a 9 to 5. And when you treat your passion, when you treat something you need to be passionate about as a 9 to 5 job, all right, you don't actually get anywhere. You don't. Norley, yeah, I feel that.
New subscribers.
I understand that. 1.5 billion in 29 seconds. Okay, not bad. I had a bit of a bad angle, but 1.5 billion? I can live with that. Anyway, thanks for subscribing, Nate. Welcome to YouTube. So yeah, and thank you, Lee Moore, for saying that I did the Jamaican songs well. I enjoyed that, you know. It is crazy how quickly this boss can be beaten, but that's how it is. That's what the game has become. The game has become a speedrunner's fantasy. All right? And I'm not even talking about a gangster's paradise here, you know. This is it. This is what we have. And it saddens me. Anyway, I'll play a nice little metal track for you guys. So please do look forward to that. All right. I'm going to actually play one of my new tracks that I've been working on that I hope you guys will enjoy. All right. Thank you again, Baron, for that earlier super chat. I really do appreciate those people that are still funding the channel and keeping us in business. Then we'll come back to discussions again, and I'll answer Nate POE's question about what I reckon Nexon's going to do next. All right. So enjoy a short music break. This is Robot 95 FM, and you're listening to the hottest tracks made by the bot himself. All right. So get ready for some enjoyment. This is my new track, Silent Scream. I wrote and made the music myself, people.
Bite my tongue till it bleeds. Hold it in till I can't breathe. Every night I hear you leave. Every night I fucking scream.
There you go. That was Silent Scream by my new band Heartbanger. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Welcome back. Welcome back. Little music radio break there. All right. Now, Nate PoE asked me, what do I think Nexon's going to do? What do I think Nexon's next move is? I'll keep it simple. I think that Nexon is probably, in my personal opinion, this is usually how it goes. Now, I could be wrong on this, so take it with a pinch of salt. But I think that what Nexon is going to do is that they're going to actually sit down here for a second and say, okay, listen, they're not going to end the game, not right away anyway, all right? Not right away. But they are going to say, hey, listen, you guys have this amount of time right now to fix your shit. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit. You have XYZ amount of time to fix your shit. To get your shit together, fix your shit. Right? You fix your shit? Okay, cool. You know, we're not going to say anything. We'll let you carry on. But you don't fix your shit, all right, then a plug at some point is going to have to be pulled. And it's not the same plug that I go to for my weeklies, all right? I'm just kidding. But, you know, that's going to be what happens. Now, I don't think we should be worried about end of service so soon. Okay? If you want a realistic player count, we still have about 20,000 to 30,000 people playing per day. I know, yes, I got it. About half of those are just logging in for the rewards. They're not actually playing. But we still have 20 to 30,000 people interested. Okay, let's put it that way. They're still at least interested in the game. They're just waiting for a change. Alright? That's not a small number. 20 to 30,000 is not a small number by any means. So there's hope. That's why I don't think it's going to be end of service. But Nexon has probably given them a deadline to start turning things around, which means the devs need to treat this like they're launching a brand new ass game. They already have a lot of systems, so they already have like a lot that they can work with and build on. But that's what they have to do. They got to start turning shit around. And it's possible. No Man's Sky will always remain the biggest redemption story in history, but you know what else had a redemption story that I feel bad about? I feel bad that I didn't continue on with Helldivers because I missed out on a great time period. You know? Granted, even now I would still be on the struggle bus, but hey, you know, there was potential there. A lot more potential than we had here. But I picked TFD over Helldivers, and look at where I am now. I made a big mistake there. I admit to it. I own up to it. You know? That was a very costly career mistake, but hey, it is what it is. Fine. I'll live with it. I'll own up to it. I can adapt. I'm an adapter, you know? I can be plugged in more than one way. Alright? So, I'll be fine. Okay? Unlike my album Low Vibes, I will be fine. But, what I will say is that, you know, they better turn shit around. I actually did for a very short while, but it wasn't my kind of game. Didn't enjoy PlanetSide 2. But I only played it like years and years after it came out, so it just looked boring to me. Because it just looked old and difficult to get into. The new player experience, at least in my opinion, was like 300% sucky. Couldn't really make heads or tails of it, and it just, you know, sucked. In my personal opinion. Well, I'm glad you guys got to enjoy it. There's a lot of games that I missed out on in life, but, you know, that's how it goes. Like I said, these days I don't play a game unless somebody buys it for me or, you know, donates it to me or something or gifts it to me because, look, I gotta be very, very selective with my time. If I'm gonna try something new, it's gotta be at least sent to me.
Don't get in my way.
But even so, I am surviving. Hopefully, I'll be able to keep surviving. But what I will also say is that, guys, we probably shouldn't be in full-on doom mode. I don't think that, you know, we should think that it's going to be end of service now for this game. Doing so would probably become a self-fulfilling prophecy, which we don't want. While we should be aware that there are going to be problems, we should also sit up and say, hey, listen, you know, maybe what we really need is to just let things change. And also, hopefully the devs are aware. Hey, Don, good to see you. This is the other Don. All right. One of my good friends. How are you, my dear? All right. Thank you for hopping in for a couple of minutes before your meeting. You keep showing up like this, I'll start thinking you like me, okay? I always love messing around a little bit with Dawn. She's such a beautiful person. Lovely soul, lovely person. Thank you for coming in. So good to see you. So good to see you. Here's a heart for you. A lot has changed, Nate, but you took a year's break. Like I said at the start of the stream, the key is that developers want, for live service games, they need people not taking breaks. Even if they're only playing an hour a day, they need people to be playing. That's the issue. That's the issue. No. Gypsy Warrior 4015, her name is Dawn. She's a friend. So, just in case anyone doesn't know who I'm talking to, it's Gypsy Warrior 4015. It's not Silent Dawn. Silent Dawn is not here. Well, she might be here, just lurking in the background, but she's dealing with some other stuff and also playing Where Winds Meet right now. Hello, Killer Puppy. Austin's not old enough to know. He should. He should. But then again, I mean, Gypsy Warrior has always been called Gypsy Warrior, so maybe people don't know. I know her name because we're friends, so I usually call my friends by their name in general. The only one I don't call by his name is Rena because he doesn't want his real name spoken. I actually know his real name, but I don't ever call him by his real name. Well, technically, I also don't call Truffles by his real name because because we have grown up calling him Truffles. Hey, Chester, what up? Why would they be nerfing Serena? Did they say they were going to nerf Serena? Because if they do, that's a damn stupid move, in my opinion. I admit I did not watch the dev live. I did not watch the dev live, so yeah. Oh, yeah, true, because I do know your real name, Baron. But, I mean, you know, you are addressed as Baron here. You are our Baron. I mean, unless it's what your friends call you, Rena, I will just call you Rena. It's fine. Unless you want to be called that, then I will happily switch over to your Twitch name. Yeah, I mean, nerfing Serena or nerfing anything is stupid at this point. They need to keep players, not lose them. No, fair enough. Well, don't worry. We'll stick to calling you Benna, the evil clone of Rena. You know, I was telling my guys in our private Discord the other day. That's for the channel members and top supporters to get into. But I was telling Rena about. I was telling the people the other day about how I've done a little change to Grok, a little personality change for Grok. And once I did this special personality change for Grok, in order to better assist my workflow and processes. All right, I made him a very angry person. He started talking like Rena, and I was like, "Lol." It's like now, whenever I strategize and do business with Grok, I'm literally, you know, I'm literally like just talking with Rena. CC, that's telling Nexon to reconsider nerfs. I mean, I don't care what other CCs say. At the end of the day, it's pointless to debate what other content creators do. Um, in alignment with my strategy, I have no comment on this. They have their own objectives, and I have my own objectives. Um, so my objective would be, look, there's no point in nerfs right now. What they need is to add fun factor. It's not about nerfing. It's about, to me at least, introducing. They need to introduce something that's going to keep people playing. They need to introduce a fun factor that is going to keep people excited about this game. That's going to make people want to play this game. Nerfs will not do that. Nerfs will just result in people yapping, even if they're good nerfs. Even if they're good nerfs, people are just going to be like, they nerfed my character, and my character now sucks, so I'm quitting the game. Do you guys remember what happened when the Blood and Iron nerf happened? Gley is still running through like all the PvE content. Nobody gives a freaking shit, right? And everyone's all like, I'm leaving the game. I'm quitting because nerf. Like, oh my god, you guys. And then even worse, when the Ines nerf happened, people are all like she was still strong. I proved that she could do things just as fast as before the nerf, because all you had to do was just adjust to her at the time, okay? You had to adjust to her no Transcendent mod build. And then people are like, oh my god, no, she feels so much worse to play. I can't play her anymore. She does 0 damage. I'm like, you serious? Homie, at the time that I made that, at the time that she was nerfed, she was the only skill-based Descendant. After they allowed skills to do damage and Void Erosion, she was the only skill-based Descendant that could actually clear the Void Erosion highest level on her own. Okay, that's because she could blast her third skill through walls and kill things before they had time to kill you. It was a beautiful thing. I mean, hey, you want to wreck shit with Valby? Go for it. Okay, I know Valby is so far out of the meta, I wouldn't even touch her. But hey, more power to those playing the characters that aren't meta. Me, I can't stand it without my Gley, blasting bullets. But that's the issue. The issue is that you cannot make people feel less powerful. Once they feel, oh, I love the South Park voices. But yeah, once you get to the point where people feel less powerful with what they have, they will, even if it makes no sense, they will quit the game and they will throw tantrums like toddlers, So whether Magnum Studios nerfs or not, that is irrelevant to the problem. Content creators can talk about nerfs and balancing and all this stupid shit for the rest of their life. All right? That's on them. I have nothing to do with that. My take on this, and look, I come from a perspective as a businessman who's made a lot of bad decisions. I say don't worry about nerfing, balancing. Don't worry about irrelevant things. What's the big problem? We have nothing right now to excite the audience. What is exciting the people? Nothing. We have nothing to excite us. Don't worry, Austin. The only nerf that I'll campaign for is I'll personally phone up the TFD devs, okay? I'll personally phone them up and say, I need you to nerf Serena, but only Austin's Serena. All other Serenas are fine, but this one specific player's Serena, okay, we're gonna nerf this one specific player's Serena, and then we're gonna, we're going to ensure that he finally retires from TFT. Okay, so it's just not everybody's Serena, just his Serena. Just that one specific player's Serena, where we're gonna reconsider the nerfs there. Then the patch notes will say that they nerfed Serena, but only for this one player whose game ID is Austin. Your game ID is kitten something something something. Only this one person's Serena has the nerfs applied to their account. No other nerfs were applied. This is to gain test data or some shit. I don't know. Whatever. Nah, fair enough. I hear that. I mean, I feel the same way about Gley. And, you know, it's nice to know that you're enjoying Daya. I'm sure you're following my build, right? Yeah? I know the Gypsy always rolls with the robot. But, you know, yeah, I mean, this is kind of a thing. Nerfing, balancing, reworking, these are all drips in the ocean. These are all drips and draps in the real ocean, because what needs to be done is not worry about balancing. What needs to be done is content, so that I'll have a reason to say, hey, Austin, I need you to stay up today. You know, I need you to bring that chill voice to my stream so that we can actually run some shit together. And then I'll call up Rena and say, Rena, today I need you to not be playing Space Marine 2 or some other shit, so that you can actually run content with me, because maybe it's about damn time that we actually need a squad to get shit done. Maybe it's about damn time that we had 4 rejects fighting a beast of Nurgle in this game. Maybe it's about damn time we had an actual challenge. You know, it's not random events. The Axion Plane events are planned. What we need is truly random events. Somebody brought up a concept from another game, like a nemesis system, you know, having another character hunt yours, and then they'll just randomly appear during your mission, throw it out of whack. Guess what? We suggested that. We suggested that multiple times, and it still didn't happen. That's the problem. We do not have that. We need something to actually excite people. Now, Grumpy GB on Twitch asks, what do you want them to add in an update? What would keep me playing? There's a list. There's a list. Now, I actually kept this list, you know, from another person, because this other person wrote in such a nice way that I actually thought about it, and it made so much sense to me. Like, holy cowabunga. It made sense. So, give me 1 second. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up that comment, because he actually came up with a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, what's up, Night Elf God? How are you doing? Did you change your name, Horde Kingdom? Because Night Elf God is your Twitch name, but either way, good to see you, brother. Now, unless I got the wrong person, but I'm not quite sure I did. Okay, let me just go pull that comment. No, it has to be new content. Improving on old content can come after they get new content right. And that's the problem. They haven't even gotten new content right. Okay, I pulled this comment right here because it's really, really good. Hey, glad you're loving my new metal, all right? It's always good to know you like my music. Now, this guy said, number 1, all mission enemies should have elemental resistances. I said hell yeah to this. You want to know why? Imagine if your mission couldn't just be run with one. I know it's Horde Kingdom. I know your name. Yeah, imagine if your one mission you couldn't just spam the same character over and over. What if during the mission they have enemies, or like certain missions they have enemies, and it could be a rotational system, immune to electricity. Oh, you can't use an S here. Oh, you can't use Bunny here. You know, it would give people an incentive to at least, you know, have a reason to pull out other characters or be creative, right? Okay. Number 2, there needs to be. Thank you for the super chat, Kabak. Let me know what kind of music you want, and we'll play it during the next break. But yeah, the next thing is world events. This has been talked about, but I feel that, you know what? Maybe they can work. Maybe they can work, but more in the vein of like a nemesis system, or like, since we do operations and missions, maybe we could get invaded during missions. Maybe something random could happen. Like, they could have a percentage chance, right? And then with that percentage chance, just something happens during the mission, you know, that throws it completely out of whack. Then even boring missions have something to break up the monotony, you know? Because you could just be playing a mission that you already know, you think you know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden it gets wild. And they need to be and these random events need to be, some should be medium difficulty, some should be ultra challenging to the point that it is almost a guaranteed wipe. Why? gives players more incentive to play in teams. And guess what? You play in teams, increase the chance of it spawning, so we have more fun. You know, that's what it needs to be. Then, the cosmetics are unreasonable. We should be able to paint any cosmetic for free. Give us a color wheel. Give us a color wheel or Crimson Desert's dye system. You get the dye once, it's unlocked forever, you know? Then we can just go around. They're nickel and diming us. They're nickel and diming us when their game is half dead. They need to pull a win. They need to stop that. And this is all from one guy's comment. FYI. These are all from one freaking guy's comments. They all sound fantastic, right? This guy came up with the whole thing. Nexon could just follow this as a fucking business plan and they'd be doing good. Yeah. And dude, normally that's exactly what people were talking about. Maybe it's not a Colossus. It doesn't have to be a Colossus. They could design new enemies based on current Vulgus elites, give them a different name, give them a different concept, but they just suddenly spawn during your mission. Like, you know that guy in the Void Vessel that uses the sword? What if he was this game's version of the Hunter or the Stalker? And he just randomly, like, your mission glitches out and he suddenly just brings you into an arena, like domain expansion, Jujutsu Kaisen shit, and then you have to beat him. You have to beat him. Or they could even make an event. If you're playing in teams, he traps 2 people in that realm with him, and the other 2 people have to actually, like, fight another separate boss outside, and if they don't kill the separate boss outside fast enough, then the 2 people in his realm die and cannot be revived during the mission. So you have to take it two people down, and the mission gets harder. Like, there's a lot of concepts you could pull just by increasing difficulty. Like, maybe enemy level goes up by 200 if you don't slay the guy. Domain expansion. You could just take ideas from freaking anime right here, right? Right? Let's hear some applause. Let's hear some applause, huh? You know? A random guy on the internet can come up with this, and I just built upon it in 5 minutes. Execution is a lot harder than brainstorming. I get it. I know. Talking in a meeting is easy. Actually putting the meeting into play is difficult. But that's where they don't have passion. They're lacking passion. Now, Dawn knows this because she knows about some of the side businesses that I've done. For those that don't know, I actually have a fortune-telling side business. I'm a tarot reader. I haven't worked on it in a while because I'm shifting to another side business for a while, but technically I actually have really, really good fortune-telling skills, FYI. If anyone needs their fortune told, you can ask for one instead of a song via Super Chat, and I will actually tell your fortune, and I'm very accurate, FYI. But the thing is, right, you got to have passion in whatever you do. I always put passion in whatever I do. I learn about it. I study it. I really, really learn because you have to do that. So if you want to talk in a meeting about what you need to do, see you later, Grumpy GB. Thank you very much for hanging out here. I really appreciate that. If you want to talk about things and concepts in a meeting, but that's where you've got to actually, execute it. And the only way to do it is to have the passion for it. That's why I said 9 months ago, I already said it. It feels like these devs don't have passion for their work. It feels like Magnum Studios is treating TFD like a 9-to-5. Make some Gooner skins, call it a day. Same old, no change. That's the problem. They lack passion. They lack desire to make this a great game. That's the problem. Now, let me carry on with what this guy's comment said about what we should add to the game. I'll tell you right now, okay? Other than the color wheel and the concept of the Nemesis system, he actually expanded upon the Nemesis system. What if we had a roster of just 10 random events or hunters or whatever that could occur during your missions, all right? And they each have a small chance of occurring. Maybe you could have like 2 or 3 of them happening at the same time, you know? And then every time you kill them, they get stronger until they reach a certain level whereby you get a special reward for killing them. Then it resets and you go again. The special reward could be a small amount of caliber, you know, just to keep people incentivized in playing the game. If you kill them in their final form, you know, they could drop a special unique weapon or a special blueprint for their unique weapon. Like, these are all great ways that they could not only have this system implemented in the game, but they could make it something people look forward to encountering. it will be a hard challenge, but make it worth your time, right? Then, how about with Axion Plains? They actually expand upon it. The Axion Plains current area, like the Axion Plains could be its own map. They could have the current area, just like what they've done with the Void Vessel, and then they could have other areas of the Axion Plains and make them all connected like a truly big, gigantic open world. Think where winds meet, Qinghe, Kaifeng, 2 areas connected, right? Now, Hexi is a different region by itself, but you could do something like that. There's potential there as well. Why are we keeping the Axion Plains as just a bigger version of the entire map? In fact, the entire world maps that they have, what if they connected them up? You know? What if they brought back invasions in a new and unique way? Now, this one is my own original concept, but I said it last time I streamed. What if they brought back invasions in a new way? You know? Gypsy Warrior 4015 is not on Twitch. She's on YouTube. She's on YouTube here with you guys. FYI. So she's not on Twitch. Just saying. So if you can't see her, I don't know. It's your chat messing up, but yeah. That does happen sometimes. But I can see her just fine. Yeah, she is. She's on YouTube. There's only one person that's been on Twitch so far, and that's Grumpy GB. I mean, I do have other people watching me on Twitch. But yeah, only Grumpy GB was talking from there. Everybody else was talking on YouTube. Anyway, sorry, I digress. She blocked you? Lol. Nah, don't worry. She didn't block you. Well, maybe, I don't know. You can block him if you want. I'm kidding. We're all friends here. Anyway, where was I? Right. So, coming back to what I was saying. My idea was that they could use the old map that we have right now, because nobody really visits this map, right? And we got so many areas that nobody really goes to. When was the last time you guys went to Echo Swamp? There's no point, right? Okay, what if we made a new difficulty here, like invasion difficulty or expert difficulty? Hell, call it Jianghu cultivation difficulty or whatever the hell else you want to call it. But during this time, right, they could open up a map area. They could remove all missions on the map, or maybe convert the whole thing. If you select like Jianghu difficulty, the whole area is opened up. You see all these connectors? Instead of having these connectors be doors to other regions, make them actually connect to each region, right? Then we could actually go between each area. Like, I think that would be a cool concept. And then the whole area can have missions on it, like a Helldivers map. You know, 4 people drop in. 4 people drop in. You got to go somewhere on this map to complete objectives. How you do it is up to you, but you got to complete the objectives, and enemies will keep spawning, and the spawns will get more and more. The Vulgus will keep sending reinforcements like a true invasion. And then finally, you have to all go to the Pelican and extract. All right, Pelican 1 has to be called in. Eagle 1 will come in on a 500 kilogram bombing run, and then you guys finally extract. And at the very end of it, somebody shoots somebody else in the Pelican. Classic Helldivers, but you know what? They already had invasions. To me, this would have been a logical concept, because why not? It's a great idea. Open the whole map. Use it like a Helldivers map. You already have the resources. You don't have to redesign a map, right? Just make it connect to each other like Monster Hunter Wilds does, and then just put objectives on it. Just put objectives on it somewhere. And we could go do some objectives. All right? We could actually get some shit done. I'm glad you're doing better after your surgery, all right? It's good to have you with us. Gotta get more energy, you know? In my belief system, there's always the belief that you know, there's yin and yang energy. We have a lot of males here in the chat, so you know, I can't remember if female is yin or yang. I don't want to get this right. Hold on. I don't want to get the feng shui wrong. Okay, female is yin, male is yang. So we got a lot of yang energy in chat. I need some more yin energy, you know? Yeah, no, these ideas aren't boring because they are taken from successful games, i.e. Helldivers, which is extremely successful. Jesse, I cannot contact them directly, but I will be putting out a video on it. And you know what I need from you guys? I need you guys' help, actually. When I put out my video talking about all these ideas and concepts, right? I want you guys to like that video, all right? And then Tag it on social media, tag the devs. The devs won't see it if you guys don't tag it. And if you like all these ideas that you're hearing, when I put out my idea video on Sunday, sorry, it won't be tomorrow. Actually, it might be tomorrow. I'll try and put it out tomorrow if I can. But when I put out my ideas video, I don't need you guys to hype it. I don't even need you guys to actually, you guys can comment and hype on it if you want so it reaches more people through the algorithm. That's a great idea, actually. But what I really need you guys to do is tell the devs about it. Just tag them on social media. You don't have to even send them an email. You don't have to send them feedback. They have a TFD official X account, or you can tag them on Instagram or TikTok or whatever other official accounts. Tag them. Tag them and say, Real Asian Roa put out this video. Why don't you guys listen? Flex the Don, it would be great, because I'm going to tell you right now, Helldivers is successful for a reason, and they don't have any competitors. Helldivers has no competitors. Their only competitor was a Halo Infinite map design that absolutely failed. What was it called? Halo Jumpers or something? You hear zero buzz about that. They have no competitors. TFD could become the competitor. I mean, they have a way smaller dev team than TFD did. You telling me that we can't do that? We literally have the resources. We have a freaking map that can be used. Every single one of these maps. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. This map. Oh, look, it's all connected. They could literally make it all connected, right? Every single map that we have could be its own sector. Sure, we don't have a lot of planets. We don't have a lot of environments, but hell, Helldivers doesn't either. You know, sure, we don't have any extra factions, but we can start small. Turn the whole map into a combat zone. During the special invasions, create a third difficulty, special invasion, whole map opens up, you know. We just go in there and then do objectives and give us an extraction. Maybe we have to rescue, guess what? Helldivers, you have to rescue SEAF soldiers. What do we have in TFD? Albion soldiers, right? What if the operation is go in there and rescue Albion soldiers? Maybe Enzo is needed so that we can actually activate artillery on the map to make it a little easier. Maybe Luna or Ajax is needed to actually hold a point. You know, maybe Eugen is needed to preserve the lives of civilians. Maybe you need Bunny to get to objectives fast. There is so much you can do because you can make Descendants useful beyond just killing everything on the map as quickly as possible. Maybe Ines and Keelan are needed for a facility. Like maybe one of the objectives on the map is, okay, so in addition to rescuing civilians, somebody needs to hit this facility. Hound unit. You could have 2 people from the Hound unit coming in, right? So you split your team of 4, right? 2 people go on the defense mission and get the civilians evac. The other 2 players, they play as Hound unit. They go and do the objective. They go into the facility. Now other people, like other characters could be viable. Like Gley could still do the facility objective, but maybe make it so that Keelan and Ines are the most efficient because of their transcendent mods or things like that. Like, yo, this is a simple concept. I mean, okay, I'm oversimplifying. It's not a simple concept from a developer standpoint, but it is something they could try. Why not? They already can create multiple objectives on the map. Just make them difficult. Just make them difficult. Make it a struggle. Make Vulgus reinforcements increase at an exponential rate. If you stay on the map for the full 40 minutes, you freaking die because stronger and stronger Vulgus units spawn, and even a Colossus is going to walk in. See, Jesse, I already said it the last time. I said it the last time 9 months ago. Nobody listened to me 9 months ago when I said these devs are treating their game as a 9-to-5 job. They're treating it as a 9-to-5 job. There's no passion. Because if you have passion for what you're doing, all right, this won't be the situation. If you have creative passion, you always be thinking about what's the next idea? What do I do next? How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? Because that's what I do when it comes to my personal business. When my tarot business didn't work out because my only client was Dawn, and she's a fantastic client, but you can't sustain off one client, right? So I said, okay, let me pivot to something else that I can do right now, and then later on I'll come back to it. So I pivoted to, well, my current secret project. I'm not telling anyone about it. It's art related, and it's a bit Guna related, but let's just say that I learned a lot of stuff that I can do using the tools at my disposal, due to the unique AI skill set that I have. I started working on that as a side project, and it's actually doing pretty okay, you know. So you have to pivot. You have to be able to change. You have to be able to adapt. As I said earlier today, I think these TFD devs, many of them may have grown up in maybe good households. Now, my household was good. I love my mom and dad, but we have fought uphill battles throughout our lives. I feel that these guys haven't, because because a lot of the time, right, when people don't face uphill battles, when they don't face the struggle, they don't have passion because they're not hungry for victory. They just do the job
Super
and just
chat
live with it.
received.
Thanks, Lewis, for the lovely super chat. Let me know what kind of music you want. We're going to take a radio break right now and play something heavy for Gabak, but I hope you guys have heard the concepts, because this is exactly what we've been talking about this entire time. This is the failure that has happened time and time again. Now, Gabak wanted something heavy, so hell yeah. Let me bring out something heavy for you guys. And where is it? It should be around here. Ah, there it is. Have something heavy. I hope you guys enjoyed that, ladies and gents. Oops, I triggered that wrongly. But yeah, that's something heavy, and that's a nice little radio break. Welcome back, everybody. Lewis, let me know if there's a particular sound you want. But thank you very much for your super chat. How's it going today? And reading what you just said, you know, I agree. I feel that they have strayed from their own core concept in trying to cater to everybody. Velvet Teeth song is not out yet. It doesn't even have an identity yet. It will be given its own album and concept, but that's in the far future. Right now, it's just a sample track that I play from time to time if people super chat. It was literally made yesterday. So it doesn't even have a vocalist or a band or anything. It's just a solo sort of stray project that's floating in the atmosphere. I will need to conceptualize it, construct the AI vocalist and everything, and work on it in future. But yeah, thank you very much for liking it. You know, there's a lot of good songs still coming for now, so I hope you don't mind supporting my music, because Velvet Teeth will be coming out in future, but we still have a lot to actually drop because we've got K-pop, we've got a lot of other stuff that's coming, so please do look forward to that first. However, expect good previews along the way, yeah? And Austin, let me know what kind of music you want as well, or if you want your fortune told. Exactly, a game for everybody is a game for nobody. That's exactly the problem. You know? Sometimes you cannot just bend over backwards for everybody. Sometimes other people got to bend over backwards for you. And that's how it is. You can't just cater to everybody, because a game for everybody is a game for nobody. A creative for everybody is a creative for nobody. Same concept. That's why I don't worry about what other people do. I'm me. I do me. Even if doing me gets me canned or puts me in a bad situation like I'm in now, you know, with things not going so well with streaming, it's fine. I stick to my concept. I evolve. I change. But I don't regret, and I don't deviate from my pathway, because who I am cannot change, you know? I won't be fine? Sounds good, sounds good. All right, we'll play the super sad song, I Won't Be Fine, because you know what? Austin likes being a sad boy. So don't worry, we got you, man, we got you. Yeah, sure. I mean, we might still be going, so absolutely. Come back in if you want to. No problem, Jetta Noel. Happy to deliver. Enjoy your meeting, Gypsy. And I will see you next time you can. Thank you, my dear friend. It's always so good to see you. All right, medieval tavern music? Hell yeah. Let's go with some of that. You know, you guys know that for Crimson Desert, I made some medieval tavern music. It was actually hilariously fun. If you guys didn't tune in for that stream, you guys missed out, all right? You guys missed out on the medieval tavern music. So we'll bust it out. We'll bust it out. Sure, sure. Sometimes we all need a round of Gwent, right? And yes, I have never played The Witcher, but I know that song. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. My lovely Gypsy, I will play you something, you know, when you're done with your meeting, all right? But yeah, we'll have another musical break shortly. But for now, you know, let's keep talking. Let's keep this conversation going, because this is exactly what TFD needs. This is the reality. They already tried to relaunch their game last year. It did not work. It worked for a little while, but it was boring after that because people just weren't ready. People just weren't ready. And more importantly, they didn't do anything with it. They had some momentum after relaunching their game, And what happened with that momentum? What did they do with it? Here's what they did with it. Absolutely nothing. All they did was quite literally, they released the same content over and over. They tried their same content and same formula for 3 seasons, despite the fact that they lost players every season. Did it do anything for them? No, it didn't. It did not. Because it doesn't matter how good your concepts are. It doesn't matter how gooner your skins are. You can't satisfy a man only on that. Arc Raiders is going so well. Nexon doesn't care. Arc Raiders is a super success. It is literally the new gold standard for extraction shooters. Now everybody wants to be an extraction shooter like Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is the most talked about game launch, at least until Crimson Desert, because now Crimson Desert is the ARPG gold standard. Because every ARPG has to be like Crimson Desert. Every Souls-like is trying to be Elden Ring. These releases are genre defining. TFD fell so short of the mark that everybody's still talking about the old ass genre defining one that nobody's ever measured up to. Nothing has beaten the WF game. That's the problem. All right. Now, just before Gypsy goes, let's have a lovely round of tavern music, all right? This is the kind of shit I want you dancing to. Okay? Here we go. This one's for Lewis, all right? Gypsy, this is for you. I want you on a table tap dancing this.
Mud on my boots, dust on my crest, silver edge prayers carved in my chest, ale on my breath, but a vow in my hand. I drink with the sinners, then ride for the land. Raise your cups for the steel and Sanctus sail, hey! For the shield and the stories we won't tell, sing it loud for the sword that never fails. Bless the brave, let the crooked grow pale. Templar, steel and Sanctus sail. Steel and Sanctus sail. Coin on the table, helm by the fire. One quiet moment for all who expired. Laugh with the liars, but I count every scar. My faith wears armor thicker than tar. Raise your cups for the steel and Sanctus sail. Hey! For the shield and the stories we won't tell. Sing aloud for the sword that never fails. Bless the brave, let the crooked
Grow pale.
Templar, steel and Sanctus sail. Steel and Sanctus sail. If I fall at dawn, let the bell tower ring. Drink to my name, let the rough voices sing. Carve me a cross in the old oak rail, then drown my ghost in Sanctus
To sail.
Raise your cups for the steel and Sanctus sail.
Ha!
For the shield and the stories we won't tell. Sing it loud for the sword that never fails. Bless the brave, let the crooked grow pale. Templar, steel and Sanctus sail. Steel and Sanctus sail. Steel and Sanctus sail.
Ah! That is Steel and Sanctisail, ladies and gents. So yes, we do have medieval tavern music. Because why not, right? I made this while we were playing Crimson Desert, so it is pretty hilarious. But I knew Gypsy would like this one. It's definitely her flavor. All right, thank you for enjoying that. Neverness to Everness is the name. I've never even heard of that game, but listen, guys, if the game is good, let me know. I might hop on it. If it's got huge pull, huge traction, you know, I'll see if I can get it. I'll see if I can get somebody to get it for me. Or hell, if it's free to play, even better. But yeah, let's do it. You know, I'm always open-minded to a good game that I might, you know, make a new home on. Take your time, Gypsy. Thank you for hanging out today. Really appreciate you, my friend. But we'll have another music break in a little while. All right, with Rena as the tavern owner. Yeah, you never know. He might make a great tavern owner. But anyway, I'm glad everybody had fun with that. We'll be playing I Won't Be Fine in a little while. So please do look forward to that as well. But yeah, you know, great discussion so far. The fact of the matter is, we need content. You know, bring it back to the point. We need content that drives player interest, that drives a need and want and desire to play together. Because what are we doing when we're not playing together? We're not hunting monsters together. We're not doing anything together. We go in and kill Wall Crasher for all of 20 seconds together, but we're not actually making something. We're not actually making shit happen. Therein lies the big problem. We have a game where every activity is the same. Oh crap. I gotta exit this now. I forgot about Wall Crasher. I'm going in. Okay. Back to the Hall Crasher. It's not necessarily better team cohesion, but rather we need an actual reason to play as a team. We don't have a reason to play as a team. We don't. We're just suffering for no reason. I would actually not go in the idea of big penalty, because that can turn people away from the game. Rather, I would say that certain descendants would have an advantage and other descendants would not get that advantage, but it should still be doable with other descendants. Just that if you want to get, you know, top timings and bonuses and things like that, you should choose the right tool for the right job. Werewinds Meat actually has a concept like this, whereby if you do, like, if you're fighting in certain events or whatever, right, and you have the right pathway, you know, that pathway gets boosted in a unique way, allowing you to complete the event faster. Something like that would work really well. This bastard! Stop moving him. Why are you so cruel to Star? She can't even defend herself right now, huh? And you are talking all this stuff about her. She is not even here to defend. And you say you want to throw her out. At least give her opportunity to defend herself. You guys so mean. Alright, guys, it's time for some sad vibes. Are we ready for some low vibes? Are we ready for the vibes to go low? Because when the vibes go low, Austin goes high. Steel and Sancta Sail. Oh, such a damn good song. I love that song. I gotta make more. Next time I play Crimson Desert, I'll make some more medieval music just for you guys, okay? The bar was hosting a depression night. Why you gotta be cruel, huh? Why you gotta be cruel? Why are you guys like this? Oh, Lord. Okay, and here's a special bonus for Austin. Before I play I Won't Be Fine, have this song for no reason. Just because it's hilarious, okay? You guys ready?
Thinking about the pain I felt.
Hoping for change in the weather.
I was there, but you were somewhere else.
I know it's for the better.
It ain't too much that I can say. Baby, I just know that you don't feel the same. You
Told me keep it player, but it ain't a game.
Thinking about the memories that we made.
Thinking about the
You thought I was feeling you, na 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 na. You thought I was feeling you, na 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 na. You thought I was feeling you, na 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 na.
thought I was feeling you, na 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 na.
Baby, you thought I was feeling you. I could have anything that I want. No, I ain't tryna be rude, but the time that I gave you is more than enough. I had to get in my bag, yeah, I had to run it up, I'm on a different run. I ain't worried about nothing else, had to focus on myself, I'm not the one. You thought I was feeling you, na 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 na. You thought I was feeling you, na 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 na. You thought I was feeling you, na 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 na.
Thought I was feeling you, na 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 na. Na 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 na. Now, when I wrote this stuff, all right, I was just getting into songwriting, so my lyrics aren't as complex as they are now, but it's still a banger. Yeah, now this song, okay, is for Austin when they nerf a Serena, because he won't be fine, all right? Y'all ready?
It's 3:03 a.m. on a Wednesday, and my mental health's not doing okay. I'm just lying on my floor all alone, and I've been crying for hours straight.
Hello.
I just wish I could see you one more time, but the light in my room is shining way too bright. Baby, this was never meant to be, so I'll just pretend like you're in my arms tonight. I'm so scared of losing everything, and now my best friend's going away. So I just sit in my room all alone and just wish I could see her face. So I'll just sit here and I cry, and I don't even know why. I just wanna see you one more time, 'Cause I've never seen someone with eyes that shine so bright. And now I'm crying in my room. I just don't know what to do. 'Cause all my friends are moving on, and I'm just stuck here in my room. I'm so scared of losing everything, and now my best friend's going away. So I just sit in my room all alone, and just wish I could see her face.
All right. Hope you all enjoyed that. That was I Won't Be Fine. All right. This song is already available on my SoundCloud, Spotify. It was released as part of the Low Vibes album. So if you haven't checked it out, then make sure you check it out. That was Austin's favorite song right there. Later on, I'll play some K-pop just to torture Baron for no reason. All right. I'll play the K-pop version of this. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that. Okay. It's been a very, very interesting night of
Blue
discussions.
super chat was
Okay. Look, Baron heard that. Baron psychically sensed I was gonna do K-pop, so sure, Shattered Veil it is. Let's be nostalgic. We'll play some of the older stuff, and you can actually see how different my current music sounds compared to the older music that I used to do, because my tools have evolved, my writing skills have evolved. So yeah, hell yeah. But why? Because, you know, sometimes we just gotta put out the K-pop, man. How can we have a TFD stream with no K-pop, dude? We gotta have at least one K-pop song, you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? But yes, we shall have a bit more of that. Anyway, let me just talk a little bit more before we carry on with the music, you know, before we go back to Robot 95 FM. I think many of us understand where the devs are going wrong, but at the same time, you know, no matter how many good ideas we have and how many good ideas we pull out, I think the problem, genuinely, is that I feel. Now, this is just my feeling, all right? Don't stop believing, hold on to that feeling. This is just my feeling, but it's almost like I think that they themselves, it's like they're struggling. It's like they're struggling with what they want their game to be, but not, I don't know, it's either not having the passion, not having the power, or not having something else that actually lets them move forward with their ideology. Maybe they over cater to people. Maybe they've completely lost the plot right now, because I feel that way. I feel like maybe they over catered so hard to the casuals that they've just completely lost the plot. They've completely lost everything that they've tried to do. Hey, Lady Neo. But that is exactly the problem. This is where they have gone wrong. And I don't know what I should think about it, because that's how it feels to me. You know, I hope that they will change things. I hope that they will be better. I hope that they will actually, you know, bother putting some passion into their work. Because if they don't put passion into this game, they don't put excitement into this game, then they're sunk. Oh, you made him sad, Austin, because, you know, you played a low vibe song. So thanks to that, you know, he felt sadder on the inside. And that was what you did, Austin. You chose I Won't Be Fine. So now Lord Mugen is not fine anymore. He is unfine. I don't think they do, Lord Mugen, because that will never work long term. When you just make an easy, accessible game for gooners, the gooners come, they buy a little bit, but then they get out. Because once they realize there's no scalability and no growth, they themselves get bored. You can only goon for so long. like gacha games, they have different concepts, but you can play and get obsessed with your favorite waifus or whatever. I myself don't understand it, but it hooks a lot of people. Not saying that this should become a gacha game, but if they were gonna go down that path, especially with the lounge, why didn't they introduce a Descendant dating system? Why did they, like they're saying they're stopping work on the lounge, that's all great. But they implemented the lounge as just a place to look at your Descendants. That's so boring. They need to actually do some shit with the stuff that they have. They have a whole ass lounge. They shouldn't be stopping development on it. They need to hunker down and make a fucking dating sim in there. If they don't make a dating sim in there, they're sunk. Because people want to talk to their favorite Descendants. They want to come home and have their favorite Descendant say, "Hey honey, how's your day?" All right. Man want Ezimo in a swimsuit flexing and saying, "Hey bro, shall we hit the gym, bro?" And then, you know, some other men, they want Daya saying in her robotic voice, "I made you breakfast. It's not like I like you though." Or some tsundere shit like that. Like, come on, bro. They have a lot of tools that they implemented into the game in a half-baked fashion. That's where they went wrong. They didn't go all the way. They should have gone all the way. You never half-ass something. You whole-ass something. That's where they went wrong. They took baby steps. And now our Descendants greet us when we enter the lounge and look at us. But how could that take a long time to implement? It doesn't. That is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen. Just hurry up. Like when they first introduced the lounge, it should have already come with dating and all that to immediately make you invest in the characters. They underperformed themselves. Because these are not things that are unknown. All they had to do was look at Nikke, Goddess of Victory, and they would have seen what people are not just spending on the Gunnar outfits. People are spending on the Gunnar outfits because those are their favorite, you know, sexy Nikkes or whatever that they like. Those are their Goddesses of Victory. They get invested in them. They get invested in them, and they can't stop. That is the issue, ladies and gents. That is the issue. Now, if you guys have any comments that you want to say them while we play a little more music for you guys. This is Shattered Veil for Baron Von Crash. Please enjoy. This is going back to the old metal that I performed.
Beneath the ash, where none can see, gentle breath of fleeting flame. The void calls out, it knows my name. Shatter silence, break the glass, crimson skies, the shadows mass, electric bolts.
The sound quality is not like what I do now. Oh.
Soft like snow. The
See you later, Austin.
Fractured light, a twisted dream. Clings to screams, the line will blur. Reality breaks, the storm will start. Pierce the heavens, rip the veil. Delicate whispers to savage wail. Waves of fire, chaos reigns. Echoes linger, bloodstained chains. Bloodstained chains. Bloodstained
I hear that, but at the same time, you know, sometimes I hear my old stuff. I'm just like, I get a little bit embarrassed because it just doesn't feel like what I can do now, you know. No. I gotta play some of my recent female metal. All right. And that's the only way to cleanse myself. But I'll play that for you guys in a second. But yeah, no, definitely there's a lot of improvement not only in my writing, but my techniques, you know, the kind of instruments I put together. It's just crazy, you know, seeing the growth for yourself, but you can hear it. You can hear the growth and you can feel it. That's what I love. That's what I truly love. You know, there's just so much good stuff. But yeah, I need a short palate cleanser of my own. Now this is more recent work, ladies and gents. Welcome back, Gypsy Girl.
flickering hallway, shadow on the screen, a ghost of a feeling I've never seen, searching for a pulse in a valley of wires, trying to stay warm by the digital fires. The signal is weak, but it's calling me home. It's under the surface, it's under the skin, where the silence ends and the noise begins. I'm reaching out through the dark and the cold for a story that hasn't been told. The static in the heart, screaming for the light. A beautiful disaster in the middle of the night. We're more than the data, we're more than the pain. We're the lightning tester in the middle of shine rain.
That's that vibe, Carterville.
I remember the white noise. I remember the fear. I'm shouting for mercy. No one can hear. The system is hungry. It's hollow and dry, but there's a spark in the center that refuses to die.
Sorry, it bled into another song at the end there, but yeah. Like, for me, it's just the evolution of my craft. I just know that now I can do so much better. So when I listen to the old stuff, it's more like I just hear what was missing. Like back then, of course, you know, I thought that Shattered Veil was like the pinnacle of what I could achieve. And now, better tools, you know, more instrumental control, more vocal control. You listen to all that and you're like, this one maybe this are not as hot as we thought, eh? Maybe this one maybe need a bit more time in the oven. Like that to me is the feeling I get, because it's just like I realize I could have done so much more, you know, or there could have been so much more. But maybe someday, you know, I'll revisit some of the old concepts that never came out because the model switches anyway. You know, maybe I might bring it back. Who knows? But I do want to finally get some seriously heavy metal out, other than Stunden Null. But that'll come after the hip-hop and the K-pop drops, because they have to be done first. Then, yeah, there's a lot that I want to work on and a lot that I want to do. But welcome back once again. If there's any kind of music you'd like, Gypsy, let me know. I shall deliver. Or if anyone wants to comment on the current situation or share their thoughts, feel free. Now's the time. Now is the time to commentate. To commentate and fill your heart not with hate. Okay, please don't do that. Do not fill your heart with hate. Down that way lies destruction and death. Well, thank you, my dear friend. I am trying my best to keep putting it out, because I love making it. Well, I'm glad that you can work to my music. I privately game to my own music anyway, so I also work out to my own music. One thing which I do to test my songs these days is just, you know, I actually will sit down, and when I'm working out to my music, if I can feel the vibe the whole way through while working out, you know, then I know it's a good song. But yeah, you let me know if you got anything you want me to play. Or I can just play some of my unreleased tracks for you. Absolutely, Lord Mugen. You know it. For me, I definitely love to make music. It's like I said about TFD as well. Everything in life, you gotta have passion for it. You don't have passion, you can't make anything happen. Because you won't feel motivated. Thanks, Night Elf. I really appreciate that. It's thanks to you guys, my music career is still alive. Someday we'll take over the world. So thank you. The royalties may be small now, but they'll keep growing. We're gonna keep releasing as much as we can. Alright, then I'll just play you some of the new stuff. Oh, you know it. You know it. If we're talking strip clubs, then we should be playing, you know, after Glow. But nah, don't you worry. I'll play some of my new stuff for you, Gypsy. Right after this. I'm glad. Now then, let's play some new stuff. All right. Most of y'all who joined me have heard this, but Gypsy probably hasn't. So here we go. Today's freshest, newest offering is Velvet Teeth. This one doesn't even have a AI model. It's just a random stray thing that I did, but it's pretty darn good. So have a listen and please enjoy. Nice.
Burn. Slow burn. Lip curl. Gold ring on the glass. I turn your name on my tongue like a password. One look, you caught. Red line on your throat, soft knot. Say please just one. Velvet teeth on your halo. I bite down, you say stay close. You came here thinking you're in control, but I write the rules in your shadow. Velvet teeth and you let go. Heart race under my hands slow. You taste danger, you taste home. You're mine, and you know. Oh, you know. Backseat, black lace. You flinch when I don't give chase. I leave you wanting on purpose. Clock ticks, no sound. You follow every move, spellbound. I play with your pulse like it's surface. Velvet teeth on your halo. I bite down, you say stay close. You came here thinking you're in control, but I write the rules in your shadow. Velvet teeth and you let go. Heart race under my hands slow. You taste danger, you taste home. You're mine, and you know. Oh, you know. Tell me, how bad do you want what you can't have? Say it right now. On your knees, eyes up, no doubt. Hey, hey. You ask for mercy, I ask for more. Find religion on this floor. You call it sin, I call it sport. You call it love, I cut the cord. Velvet teeth on your halo. I bite down, you say stay close. You came here thinking you're in control, but I write the rules in your shadow. Velvet teeth and you let go. Heart race under my hands slow. You taste danger,
Ah, there you go. I'll eventually make a album about this one because it's just too good to pass up. I have to figure out how to replicate the sound perfectly, but this was actually a stray track that I designed. It was actually designed for a different purpose, but let's just say that it was a lightning on a bottle type miracle. So I'm like, I need to replicate this, but it's so good. It's so good. I'll do something with it at some point. But at least now, Headbanger finally has their own band and album. So I'll play some songs from Heartbanger next. Because I know Cardivel's been wanting a Headbanger album for a long time, and well, they finally have a proper vocalist, they finally have a proper band. So look forward to it, because I'm about to make you all sad. This is Robot 95 FM. Let's enjoy some farming while I put my velvet teeth on your halo, yeah? Yeah. Don't you worry. You guys will all bang your heads to this one. Just give me a second, though, because I want to double check something. Okay, 16 out of 20. We're almost done. Oh, nice. Oh, do I have too much? Do I have too much in my inventory? Let me clean it out. I wasn't much of a fan of Judas Priest, but Iron Maiden was nice. Is it my module inventory?
What can I help you with?
That is too full. Could be. But anyway. No, I think it's the ancestor modules that are too full. So I might have a few too many. Let's go one at a time. Ultimate Freyna doesn't have that many. Ultimate B-Val. Okay.
Ask me anything about modules.
I don't think it's the trigger module inventory either. But I wish they'd tell me if my ancestor module inventory is too full. There we go. Okay. Have those now. Now then, why don't we head bang a little bit, shall we? Here we go. Now this is not Headbanger, but they're new songs. Same vibe though. Let's be sad.
I stopped waiting by the door for you. Stop checking if you ever change your mind. You're never ever coming back to me. Never ever coming back. I finally see all the promises you made. We both know they were just words. All the plans we never said. They faded like the birds. You're never ever coming back to me. Never ever coming back. I finally see. I know you're gone for good this time. I feel it in my broken mind. You're never coming back. Let it hurt, let it burn. Never coming back. I'm done waiting for return. Never coming back to me. And somehow I finally fly. But it still hurts like hell. Yeah, it still hurts like hell. Never, ever coming back. Screaming out. Never, ever coming back.
All right. That was Heartbanger with Never Coming Back. It's what I'm currently working on. And I have their entire concept down because I just love it. The band is literally just called Heartbanger. They are a long way off from release, but I've got like 3 good tracks with them. I'm gonna play the other track now. But yeah, they will do these types of conceptually sad songs. But you're absolutely right, because a lot of the inspiration for them was like Breaking Benjamin, you know, older school emotional metal that reaches the soul. Because I felt like a lot of songs these days, they're missing that component that, you know, those of us that have been through it, a lot of songs these days, they miss that. They miss that. So release is a long way off, but yeah, it's what I've been working on, and I've been enjoying it. Now here, have a little bonus on me. Same band, different song.
Still hear your voice in the static of the night. Every word you swore, every future you painted bright. The way you held my hand, like it was forever sealed. Now I'm chasing ghosts in the promise
Yeah, this is the new project, Ant. Yep. I wrote the song. There you go. Basically, every song you hear on my stream, Anshaw, is all made by me. With these guys, I actually had made a song a long time ago called Headbanger, but the problem is that it was a lightning in the bottle phenomenon again, because I was never able to replicate the vocalist's skill. So when I first made Headbanger, it had a very unique vocal tone, whereby the guy would sing really high, like you're hearing right now, but he could also scream. So it was a unique voice, like Gypsy says, that tugs at the heart. I wasn't able to create this voice again until recently when the new model of AI dropped. And when the new models dropped, I saw that it could do so much more. And I started experimenting and I said, okay, wait, I can bring Headbanger back. Because I knew that, like, with the amount of arrangements that I could do this time, and my current skill with the software, I knew I could do it. So I did it, and then we made a concept for the band. So now the band is called Heartbanger, and their first album will be called Never Coming Back. And this is their style of music. So yeah, it is heavily inspired by Breaking Benjamin, a lot of the older type of metal, you know, but the vocalist of Breaking Benjamin can't sing as high as this guy can. That's why, like, what was unique about this one was the high singing voice. Like, the way he hits the highs, but he can scream. It's like, that just makes the formula so amazing. So it also allowed me to write more songs that were, like, very, very much more sorrowful. It was about that pain. So I was able to bring all of that to life, and it really worked out well for me. So yeah, I'm excited to share and drop more about this, you know, when I get the chance to. Okay. But of course, my skills in general are always pretty varied. Yeah, actually, one of the other ones that I made is kind of similar as well, but they're heavier. That is my band Shark Attack. They did the Consumed by Shadows EP. They also scream in the same way, but they couldn't get the high singing voice. What was unique about this band was that high singing voice. Consumed by Shadows and Shark Attack are not bad, but you know, they tend to be a bit on the heavier side. So that's not what I wanted. I needed for like in order to get those really emotional metal songs, you gotta have the right voice. It's that, yeah. Exactly. See, that's what I was unable to do before Carnival. Even when I made the new version of Headbanger, I could not replicate it. I could just make one song. So that's why it annoyed the hell out of me. But then with the new AI model and the new software, oh my God, I can do anything I want. So like I was like, okay, the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right back to Headbanger. I'm gonna make it right now. And so the new band was born, Heartbanger. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the washroom. I'll come back and slay a little more. No, not Grok. Grok is an AI assistant. It's not a software. I use a actual software for this kind of stuff, because all Grok is designed to do is to help you like research, be an assistant. It's smart, but Grok also makes mistakes. If you actually just any advice for anybody that wants to get into AI, you have to use the right AI for the right job. I have subscriptions to both ChatGPT and Grok. Grok is the one that I use most because it acts like a really, really hands-on assistant. But if you need research, if you need like serious in-depth research, ChatGPT actually is better than Grok. ChatGPT is like a really, really boring librarian, but he knows everything. He knows all. He's a mystical wizard that knows all. You ask him a question, he will tell you everything. ChatGPT is probably better suited for work. Depends if you're programming, though. If you're programming, Claude wins for programming. ChatGPT is good, but most coders or most programmers say that Claude helps them a lot more than ChatGPT does. ChatGPT, I find, is good for in general. If you want to research anything in the world, ChatGPT is your go-to because it will teach you, it will explain to you, it will help you get from point A to point B. ChatGPT is also way better at actually editing images in a way that you might want. But Grok is far more creative, Grok is far more efficient, and far faster because the new Super Grok is amazing. Okay. Using both is not a bad thing. Sometimes, like, for me, when it comes to like work processes or assessing emails and things like that, I go straight to Grok and ChatGPT. Like these two are my mainstays. I don't program anything, so I don't need Claude. But yeah, I pay for both Super Grok and ChatGPT, and it's worth it because as a one-man operation, this is what has been helping me, not only recover my streaming, but get better at it. I think you will like Grok. Grok is very expensive, but I would spring for Super Grok and give it a try. It is quite worth it. It is genuinely quite worth it, okay? And then you can play around with Grok Imagine as well, Gypsy. So what you're gonna do is you're going to upload all your own photos to Grok Imagine and then spice it up, okay? And you can have fun with that. And of course, you got to send them to me, okay? All right, I'm joking. I'm gonna go to the washroom. Come back.
I'm going to stop by Crandall after my shift and buy some Inger cookies. It's run by the family of the royal confectioner who survived the apocalypse. How lucky is that?
Okay, I'm back. Now, there's 5 minutes before Wall Crasher. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm actually going to go right into Axiom Plains. And I think... Do I still have more? I still have 2 more to do. So we'll crush one. We'll crush Wall Crasher. Then we'll come back and crush another one. Alright? Well, let's have fun with it. Then after that, I'll end my stream there. So far, you know... after 161 votes in the polls today, we've also had a lot of great discussions. We've had a lot of great concepts that we talked about today. You know, at the end of the day, it's pretty clear that what people are wanting is new content and a massive endgame overhaul. We did talk a lot about potential endgame overhaul, and you know, I will try and make a video about that probably on Sunday, and I will share it with you guys as soon as possible, so that we can flesh out more ideas, especially after what just happened. If I get the chance, of course, I'll film the video tomorrow instead. But I'll see what happens because there's no guarantee. But I'm open-minded. I'm an open-minded man. Good to be back, Lady Neo. Good to be back. Now, excusez-moi, I'm just going to speed my way through this. No, I fully agree. That's exactly what we discussed all day, Albert. The game isn't a lost cause, for sure, but they have to completely overhaul the whole ass game. You trying to become a Grail Knight, Carnival? But anyway, yeah, no, I fully agree. This game is far from dead, but it will be dead if they don't change things. If they keep going with the same old bullshit, it's not gonna work. They need to change things. They need to actually have a creative direction and passion. They don't put passion into their work, it won't work no matter how creative the idea is, because they're gonna produce generic slop. That's exactly what happened. Look at this facility. The map shows that they've got creativity, but did they do anything with it? How many people stop and actually look at the map? None. Because our only objective is I need to kill this guy as fast as possible. That's literally the entire objective. How many people stop to actually examine the fact that they made 2 gigantic robot hands and everything? And of course, yes, you're supposed to shoot the hands and whatnot. I mean, I don't really care about that, but you know, they made these things. They made something interesting in terms of design, so they're not lacking in creativity, but they've done nothing with it. The boss is just straight up shoot and die. There's no cool mechanic involving the hands. I mean, sure, you can use it to fast forward your kill, but realistically, truly, there's no cool mechanic with the hand. It's not like it's part of a long boss fight. It's not like he's gonna evolve into some final form and absolutely whoop your ass with it. I don't have a new skin for it. No, this is an old skin that I got back when we used to support the game heavily. I think it was a skin from the police bunny. That's all I've got. I didn't equip any other skin on it. Let me just have a look-see for the blunder cage. I've got the thunder injector, I guess, but yeah, no, I'm just using the police skin because I thought it was better. That's exactly the point. It's literally just an aesthetic because you just go in there and kill. There's no like actual need to you know, worry. Yep, just follow the Gley build on my channel and you'll be all good. Now we'll do one more run. Alright, we'll do one more run and we'll put on some funk. If you guys haven't heard my funk, then now's the time to get sexy with your descendants, alright? Yo. Anyone who hasn't heard my funk, I'm gonna personally slap you, okay? Let's play a little funk for the last one. But yeah, I'm not buying any skins right now, Gypsy. I have no desire to support this until, you know, until we actually get something good, you know. I might buy the new skins, but not the new Thundercade skin, no. Yep. Anyway, let's enjoy one last party, people. Now, this is the kind of song that you have when you want your descendant wiggling. Okay?
Afterglow. Sinfrenom. No sleep. Afterglow. Body on slow. Bajo scuro. Feel that flow. Sinfrenom. Kiss the night. Neon only. Hold me tight. Afterglow. No going home. Midnight pulse inside my bones.
Nah.
Suave, nice and low. Won't let go.
I don't think it's worth it.
City lights drip on the glass. Say we clean when the shadows pass. No small talk, just move and sway. If the moon stays up, we stay. quiero. Respira. Te quiero. Afterglow, body on slow, bajo oscuro, feel that flow. Infernal, kiss the night, neon on me, hold me tight. Afterglow, no going home, midnight pulse inside my bones. The most wild and nice and low. Don't let go.
I mean, yeah, if you find it worth it, Platinum player, then go for it, you know? You can goon to whatever you want. That's not a problem. We don't judge you for it. But at the end of the day, are you sure you want to support that? Are you sure you want to waste your money? If you feel that it's going to bring you some entertainment, go for it. You know, I make no bones about that. But just remember, if this game goes end of service, anything you invest in, you're not getting a refund. So you're basically throwing money in the hopes that they turn things around. If you find it worthwhile, sure. I mean, like I said, I might buy the bundle if I make enough from the videos and like stuff and streams. I don't know yet. I haven't 100% decided yet. We'll see. But at the same time, supporting TFD right now, it's not looking like the best move, you know? Because if I buy it, that's 50 bucks down the drain. And that's 50 bucks that I don't get to spend on something else, you know? It's hard to justify unless you really, really want your character to look good. I bought so many of the old skins in the past, but that was back when I was receiving super chats all the time. You know, I was getting money thrown at me. Like, that was good. You know, now it's just my regulars that donate to keep me in business and keep me alive. Until I start seeing more people pick it up, I don't think the game deserves my support, because if their own people ain't going to support me, then how can I carry on, you know? So that's kind of the big problem right now. That's why, like, they're not creating an environment where I can earn, you know? Oh, that's okay, Gypsy Warrior. Most people are. I play other stuff as well. We all experiment with other stuff. We do other stuff because that's what we do. There is nothing to truly hold people in TFD. That's exactly what I mentioned at the very start, you know? They have a game, great concept, great concept, but it's got no staying power. Nexon itself says it's got no staying power because it doesn't make people feel like they want to play. It doesn't make people feel like they want to log on immediately and game, you know? So it's got some good Gooner skins, but it is what it is. Welcome back, Kabak. I'm gonna finish up shortly, but yeah. Let's take a quick screenshot of the poll. So after 164 votes, the poll is 53% massive endgame overhaul, 40% new content and player retention, 4% for better roadmap communication. People don't care how many meetings you have, how many live streams you have. That's unimportant. That's wasted effort. Faster trade economy fixes. We don't care about that either because trading is a small thing. What people are caring about right now is the content. And we have had so much discussions about ideas that can work, and that's the issue. That's the freaking issue. If we don't solve this problem of them just throwing things together as if it's a concept, as if it's gonna work, if we don't solve that issue, then we're sunk. They are constantly, doing this thing whereby all that's really happening, all that we are really seeing is them just banging their head against the wall. Again and again and again and again and again because they think that the same thing is going to work. It's not. The same thing doesn't work. You got to change it up. You got to switch it up, like I said. And if they don't switch it up, They are sunk. Now, I'll try and get the video out as soon as possible about what we've discussed here today, you know. I don't know why the grind is so long, but it is what it is, you know. The grind is the grind. It is a man at a time. Maybe going a little bit out of my mind. But yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality of it. And I'm sad. I'm sad about it because it just feels silly. We need to do better. We need to do so much better. And I don't think we will be doing better if they don't wake up their idea and start understanding that they need to get their shit together. They need to actually sit down. They need to actually sit down and get their shit together. No, they can switch it up. They can switch it up. They've only been out for, this is their second year. All right, so they've not been out for years. I've been here since launch. They can absolutely switch it up. The problem is when they tried to switch it up, the casual gooners whined, and the casual gooners don't even play anymore. That's why I say this is the time to switch it up. The casuals don't even play the game, right? So since the casuals don't play the game anymore, and all they're here to do is admire TNA, which they can do in photo mode, you know, they can just do this. 1 second. They can just do this if they want to, right? We don't have to worry anymore. I think we just make Souls-like difficulty in this game. Yeah, you can. Like, they've introduced so many things to make the grind easier and people don't even interact with it. How many people are actually using the mission board? Not all that many. I can tell you that much. Because if you go to this mission board right here,
Just say the word. I'll find out everything for
there are HQ standing orders that you can use to receive guns, basic stuff. You can do special orders to go and get certain stuff done as well. I mean, that is how it's supposed to work. But what we really need right now is something that's going to make people want to play. We need a mode, a game mode. We need something that's actually going to make people say, hey, today I feel like playing TFD. We need something that's going to make people actually call up their friends and say, hey, you know, you want to play some TFD right now? You know, let's play some TFD together. In the end, the issue we will have, and the issue we will always have, is that there is no value in calling up anyone. And that's the big headache. If they change that, if they just change this, if they are willing to switch up their game, Platinum player, they will see results. But they have to have the courage. Like Eminem says, they got to find that inner strength to pull that shit out of them and actually get stuff done, because they're not doing that. They're literally just sitting here, sitting down and not doing anything. They need to get up and drop the bombshell. All right? That's what'll save them. But hey, that's my take on it as somebody that's always working hard. You know me. I'm always working hard. I've always got a new concept. I've always got a new idea. I'm always improving, because that's what you do. I don't know his birthday, but whenever yours is, I will make sure I wish you a happy birthday, Gypsy. You just tell me, okay? All right, fam. I will be heading off now. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you nerds. I will see you guys tomorrow for Where Winds Meet. It'll be our raid day in the morning, and of course our community Marvel Rivals day in the evening. So I'll see you guys for that. You have a good day. Don't do anything weird while I'm gone, okay? Peace and love, fam.